we made fine English jellies, as I was saying. There's a joy in jelly. This is a jelly actually made for a French brand, but not in France. And for Louis Vuitton for their 200th anniversary, and it's their shape, their iconic trunk. And then we drop stuff on it in super slow motion. In terms of, when we started out making jellies, and we'd put on events, we had no clients, we only just did stuff because we really loved it, and we'd have to sell tickets in order to make the money back. So it's a really rigorous approach. And it goes to, at the moment, the sorts of things that we're doing as a studio are, we're building museums all over the world. We're building an ice cream museum in Berlin. We've just opened a food museum in Saudi. In London, we're building a Shakespeare museum. And one of the things that I never thought I'd be interested in Shakespeare, actually. So now I'm really into it. And I feel like one of the benefits I have is I can become interested in almost anything and then go very deeply into it and find the joy of it. And I realise actually for the work we do with brands, quite often it's finding something that the brand is doing that has almost become invisible to the brand over years. If a brand can afford to pay us, there's something that's really special with them. They might not just be visible to them because they're making a lot of money to be able to afford to pay for an agency. And then it's amplifying it and getting into it and telling it. But with the creativity and commerce, Shakespeare is really, really important. It's really interesting. So Shakespeare was operating in an unbelievably commercially competitive time, and that's why he kept on making all those plays and writing all those plays. As soon as he'd made his fortune and stopped making money, he stopped. He retired. He didn't write anymore. He broke his wands in the Tempest. He went home and he sat in the country and he drank. So I kind of think that need to make money and be creative, commercially competitive is a really important driver, and I think that is also why London maybe has like a sweet spot in terms of creativity, because it is very commercially competitive, so it means that people are forced ever onwards. But at the same time, it's not quite as aggressive as New York. Like, my God, when I'm in that city for 4 days, it's fun, it's beautiful, I've had enough. So there is just enough space for people to experiment and play with ideas and get things wrong, and then not to be like all ups and downs, and do weird stuff as well. So like the sorts of things that we really like doing is, I'll spend a lot of time on the creative front of it, trying to innovate with a new idea. And so something like this, Forces of Nature, it's built it in Saudi Arabia. It was a restaurant in Alula. It's it's the world's largest UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's about the size of Belgium. And with it, they wanted to do something that explained the terroir and why there was civilization there. Now, a decade before that, I'd heard about a scientist, actually a sculpture professor in Syracuse University in New York, and they were drinking one night, and they looked at the kitchen counter, and they're like, "Could we put this in our blast furnace and melt it down?" And the answer was, after a few beers, yes. Instead of like being melted down in days, it took 72 hours. It was like a lot of gas to melt this bit of topography. They then poured it out. They realised they'd made lava, and it was incredible. I found out about this, and when I was working in New York at that time, went with my business partner to go and cook with lava. That was the sort of creative fun bit. It then took me a decade of pitching, let's make a lava-based restaurant, till finally someone had to sign it off. And this is the point it got exciting, because my professor, I called him up and said, I finally got it away, are you ready? We can go to that lava restaurant we've always wanted. He said, Sam, the problem is, I'm now the admissions tutor for the whole university, so gallivanting around the desert with you for a month with our lava restaurant just probably isn't responsible anymore. By the way, it took me 15 years to work out and hone the process. You've got 3 months. Good luck. So at this point, we got a couple lads from north of England where they're making steel. Our steel industry's been contracting, so they're looking for work. But they had a bit of experience with hot materials. We bought a blast furnace from China, and it was all done on trust. We're like, what the hell is this thing going to be like when it turns up?